to order. We stand for the pledge. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This time my microphone is on. Unlike at the last meeting, my microphone was off for most of the meeting.
Mine didn't work.
You were hearing me through yours. Okay. Let it for the record, both directors are here and staff is here. Any changes to the agenda, Ms. Lawrence?
No.
Mr. Bartz, I know. There are no members of the public present, as I see. That person will not be on. She said she wouldn't make it. So no public comment. Approval of minutes. Did you have any
I
changes?
didn't have any changes
Okay,
to the minutes.
minutes are good. Review of disbursements. That's really, there wasn't any. The disbursement stuff wasn't there. It was just the financials, right?
Yeah, I don't know what happened to them, why they weren't on here.
Not in my packet, anyway.
They were probably in the board package last time, were they?
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
what I thought.
Yeah,
Well, they were the same, right?
yes, they were.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's just the general.
They're
Okay, so-
missing in action.
That's okay. It's one of those fun things. Okay, so,
But I know you've all reviewed them in the board package.
yeah. So, on the, I had a couple questions on the revenue and expense report, but I sent those to Ms. Lawrence, and they've been perfectly satisfactorily answered.
Was there an action item? I'm sorry. The KTU and IB Consulting, was there an answer to that?
Oh, it's from the minutes. No, there was not, I don't
Okay.
believe.
Okay.
The minutes, there was an action item.
I didn't see it in here.
Just make a note. We were supposed to get contract amounts from KTUA and IB Consulting.
Actually, those have been in your board packages in the payment voucher
Yeah,
thing.
there is a.
I thought that
a sheet.
was it for you.
Where is that sheet?
You're right, that was in the board package. That was in the consent items in the last board meeting.
It was, shoot.
Yeah.
Can't-
Well,
okay.
you're right, I stand corrected.
Yeah, it shows the total contract amount, the
Yeah,
amount
yeah,
paid to
right.
date,
Oh,
the
yeah,
amount
yeah,
remaining.
okay, you're
That
right,
you
it was in
approved,
there.
yeah.
Right.
We started doing those again after the last meeting. We had not been doing those for a little while.
Right, so that's fine.
So I thought that kind of
Oh, yeah.
took care
Yeah,
of,
I
that's
had forgotten
fine
about
for
that.
me, yeah.
took care of all of them.
Right. And Mark, just for your information, on page 7, under accounts receivable, there was an item called water availability receivable. There's two items, actually. I didn't remember what that was, and Laura, you said it was when we turn our delinquent accounts over to the county? No, not that?
12,630 and
It's the
12,640?
standby fees that we charge. Water availability is the same as standby.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay, sorry, I misunderstood.
And so when we send those to the county, we record them as a receivable.
All right, great, that's fine, thank you. That was a brain cramp on my
And then
part.
in December, we got about half of it, and then we'll get the
I
remaining.
slept since our last meeting, so I don't remember.
We'll get most of the remaining of it in April.
Okay.
And I'm not sure what the little separate one is. We'll have to,
Let me,
it probably should be in the other.
12,630 and 12,640,
Yeah, I think the 40 needs to be eliminated.
3480, I don't know what that is.
I just thought to myself about something here. What account do we record, where do we record our franchise fee and revenue? Which account?
The franchise fee is in,
Other,
it's in,
88?
The waste and recycle,
Yeah, yeah, the franchise fee. Is that in 88?
It is,
Oh, that would be in, I'm sorry, that would be in,
government.
it's in government.
it's 104,000. Is that under other revenue?
In the summary.
On page 5, I'm looking.
It's part of other revenue, yes.
That's what I thought. I I wanted to make sure. All right, thank you. This report's for 6 months, right? So that's half a year of,
Oh, yeah, it's the other, correct, in the government fund?
yeah, it's line 88, total 88 other,
Right.
yeah, other income.
Actually, let me see.
So 104,242, is that correct? Am I in the right place?
Budget was 110 and total collected now is 104.
Am I in the right place?
What page are you looking at, Mark?
Page 5. Now it's your turn.
Yes. Testing.
Yeah, page 5, in the middle of the page, in the column, government column, total 88 other, 104,242. I think that sounds right. Because it was 83,000 for the last quarter.
Yeah, but I think we moved that up under, didn't we move that up under? No, we did not, never mind. Yes, that's correct.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure that was it. It's the right amount. I mean, I know.
Well, it's in the neighborhood that I
Roughly.
was expecting.
Yeah.
Because I did look at the last report,
Actually.
the last report that CR&R gave us in December. The last quarter, July, August, September was, or October, November, December was 83,000.
I have
So
the detail here, I can tell you. for
that's
sure.
about right. Yeah, I think that's right. So it's just,
Well-
it's a number that,
Here's park and rec, here's street lighting, here's government property tax.
No, actually,
Solid waste is.
the other under 88, that's,
Yeah, solid waste
100
is
and, 100 and,
131 right now, right?
yeah, it's more than that. The 100 and some thousand, 104,000 that's from rental income,
from what?
rental income.
Oh, okay, from
And
Circle
then,
Green?
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a separate deal for each of the accounts. In solid waste, the total revenue is 145, net of 131. Is
Yes.
that right?
yep,
What does that show on the,
145,000
what does
today.
that show on the P and L?
It shows in the, it's, account number starts with 48,
48 other income?
yes.
Oh, it's 145, okay. And that's other stuff, obviously, but, okay, good, thank you. That's well answered then. Okay, great. So moving on. Any other questions on the balance sheet, Mr. Roberts?
No, but I agree. Sometimes I get lost and I try to go back to the individual accounts like Park and Rec and government, you know.
Right, I understand.
So that then oh, there's the number, okay.
Well, it's also, yeah. Okay,
Because we
so,
do the summary, so it's not quite as obvious anymore.
Right.
on page 18, the month-end aging report, what is this unapplied credits, number 996?
Utility unapplied credits?
Yeah. I forgot what that is.
That's where people have paid in advance,
Really?
so there's no place to apply the amount to yet,
Oh,
because
okay.
we haven't charged them.
Good for them. Okay. I didn't have any other questions on any of the financial reports. Did you, Mr. Roberts?
Just the question about the chromium 6 lien.
Lien? What page?
That is on page 18. That's below chromium 6 surcharge. See the surcharge and then the next line? It's 700 and 67.
What's the number? What's the C number?
I'm on page 18 and it's not numbered, but if you go down.
Oh, there it is. I
To
see it.
chromium.
I see it. Yeah, yeah.
Chromium 6 surcharge which is a 66,000, and then the next line is lean. I don't know what, I'm not,
When we lean the account, the stuff gets reapplied into these other areas.
those are recovery fees from leaning.
Well, it actually puts it into a separate, like, it takes it out of the regular chromium 6 and puts it under the lien until it's recovered.
Okay, so the balance due on the chromium 6 surcharge currently is 767?
No.
For liened accounts?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
So that's owed.
yes.
So wouldn't that be a negative number?
No, it's still owed by the customer.
No, that's true.
But it's been placed-
It's eventually positive.
It's still a receivable in
It
that
seems
way.
like some money that came in would have a designation positive, and then
Well, this is
other
a- this
might
is a
be
rec-
a parentheses
This is a
or
payable,
something.
this is a receivable report, though. so-
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and so what happens is the $9.71 on the bill goes into a separate account for our classification here, right?
Yeah, for liened
Correct.
accounts.
Okay,
That-
all right,
For the surcharge, yeah.
okay.
I just wasn't sure of what that,
Yeah, no, good question.
There's a lot of liened ones right now.
Well, that's,
getting any better, or is it
we're
staying the same?
we're into the,
Well, we just shut off for the first time in 2 years, this last week. We disconnected.
and then we lean it after, what, 30 days or 60 days?
It was after, it was the ones that were over 60 days and older, we disconnected last week.
Right, but when do you lean them?
We lien them if they remain unpaid after, I think it's 45, no. I think it's an additional 45 days after that.
Okay.
I'd have to double check.
That's
because
that's close
It
enough.
changed a little bit.
That's
in
not
the
really,
new
that was
program.
just a curiosity thing.
Yeah, because that new 60-day
The
thing,
states finally allowed you to
disconnect, yeah,
disconnect in order to collect?
yep.
Well, December 31st wasn't it the cutoff?
December 31st was when that
Order lifted?
order
That
lifted, yeah.
emergency.
Yeah,
order.
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
so we were able to start.
And
That'll be
I
interesting.
know, excuse me.
It wasn't as bad as you might have thought because.
Well, you and I talked about this, and when you and I talked, there were about 200 accounts that were still delinquent.
It started with 450, and that was about 2 weeks in before the shut off. And then we were very proactive in getting information out to people. And then the telephone calls went, which we have 2 sets of telephone calls that go out as part of our normal process. One that goes out a week before the payment's due, and the other one goes out the day the payment's due. Well, we added another telephone call in the middle there, just to really, it was, you know.
To inform delinquent, all customers, and especially delinquent customers, that the emergency order is lifted.
Or you're about to-
Well,
December 31st?
it was only, the phone calls only went out to people who were.
Delinquent.
Who
Yeah,
have not
okay.
paid, yeah. And so, by the time shut-off day came around, when let's see, it was 100 and, there were 84 left, in the afternoon of the second day.
Wow,
Well,
that's,
that's pretty good, actually.
that's
Yeah.
great,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's actually
That were still
pretty
shut
good.
off that had needed to be turned back
Yeah.
on.
No,
Very
that's
good.
actually pretty
We
good.
made, I'd have to get the numbers, I haven't gotten them yet.
No, that's,
As
that-
far
but
as
that's
the number of because we did a lot of
84 out of
we did a
70.
lot of payment arrangements.
Yeah,
No, I
I'm
mean,
sure.
you know,
Yeah,
okay.
and that was part of the process, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, out of 7,100 customers, that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's just a little over 1%, 1.5% or something.
Well, that wasn't how many we actually shut off. We actually shut off 130 something, I think it was, David, do you remember? I think it was 130 something
But
that
half of
was,
them already had paid up and.
well, by day 2, so we'd shut off part of them on day 1.
Right.
Oh.
And by day 2, we were starting to shut off the rest of them, but in the meantime, the other people who were shut off have come in and made payment.
What
can we
arrangements
do?
and
What
paid.
can we do?
And so at the afternoon of the second day, we still have 84 that were shut off. that
Okay.
were still shut off. But by
That's
the end of
not-
day, I'm
that's
sure
not
it was
bad.
less than that, so.
That's not bad at all.
No,
Yeah.
because you're gonna have a percent of people that may not be there
Right,
and not even know that the water is, or working and don't realize it and then can't get back in, so
until the next day and
Yeah.
things like that, yeah.
that's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I was, and apparently we only had one angry customer, so that was really good.
Only one angry customer?
That was,
Out of-
that was a report that I had. was
That's
there was
amazing.
There
Yeah.
was one customer that was a little unruly.
Unruly, okay. Angry, moved from angry to unruly.
No free water here, bud.
All right, well, that's
good.
That's actually pretty.
Most people appreciated the fact that, they had that reprieve for so long.
Well, and we made arrangements for payments and all that. I mean, you can't do much more, you know? All right. Any more questions on the financials? Okay. The next item on the agenda is the solar costs and credits. So in your response to me on that, you said that you were still behind in giving us credits?
Yes, they are, but I mean, honestly, I am not even sure what they owe us because, we have that settlement and that covered part of future stuff as well as past stuff. And so yeah.
So this is owed to us by Edison? Right?
What,
Owed to us by
the
Edison?
credits,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah. And they're always way behind on their bills. But more behind on their credits than they are on the bills.
Yeah, amazing how
Of
that
course,
works.
amazing how that works.
They collect, but they don't really
Yeah.
wanna pay.
So on page 30,
30's the actual.
we replaced the budget with this estimate, which is what Mike did after we asked him for a refresh, right?
Yeah, this is the revised.
So this is the revised schedule.
Yes. Has
So
a
the
number
payback.
2.
I'm sorry?
Schedule number 2.
Yeah, that's right. So the revised over the life of the project, according to this estimate, it was 8.3 million?
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Supposed to be our net cash flow.
yeah.
And it is currently a minus 91, is that correct?
That's for
Yeah.
This year?
yeah.
Up through,
But to date, it's negative 500. We're
Yeah,
behind.
561, right?
Yeah. And up above, should have been negative 62.
yeah, 561 is what the life to date is, right?
Yeah.
You probably know it offhand. What was it a couple of months ago? Was it still in the 560 range?
Well, if you go back and take off 2 months of this schedule.
Well, we've made a couple.
I didn't want to do it, I asked.
Oh, okay, no,
Let her do
I
it.
understand. Well,
Well-
but there was 91,000 so far this year, so.
Yeah, because the payments, we made a payment or two, I think it was.
Which way's the slope, or is it just jumping around?
It's maybe getting better. It's hard to tell yet, honestly.
Well, it's going, if you look at the
That
annual ones.
settlement thing really kind of threw everything into a weird place.
Well, yeah, because look, if you look at the net cash flow for the year ending, it's all over the place.
Yeah.
There's no trend there.
Because 2 years ago, the year before last, we had the $681,000 positive net cash flow
Right.
because of that,
The one-timer.
yeah.
It's still just too early to even see a
Yeah.
trend. Except that
So,
it's struggling to,
We know for sure.
Get above
We know
water.
for sure when we get the loan paid off, we'll start seeing it positive.
yes. Do we have a 20-year loan and a 25-year lifespan? Is that how it works?
Yeah. The loan pays off in
2045.
35, I
Well,
think.
the loan pays off in 35,
Yeah.
and the project is over in 45, so.
Oh, we theoretically have a 10-year window of
Income only.
income?
Yeah.
On the positive cash flow. Yeah, yeah. Well,
Okay.
all I can say is it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Well, and,
You know, a lot of districts jumped on it because there was promises made about how much relief they
Yeah.
were gonna get, we were gonna get, and it didn't show up. I think Elon Musk got our share.
We sent that to space.
Yeah, and then he sent that up in a rocket.
Well, just for giggles, I'm going to ask some friends over at the school district how their project is looking.
yeah, I wonder if they even track it.
Will probably make ours look like a good investment.
Right, yeah.
Oh, really? Is it that bad?
I would have to.
Theirs is a lease, wasn't it?
Yeah, they had a PPA.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Oh.
even bad, that's
Yeah.
bad.
PPA with carports.
Yeah.
Well, but they also have a property up there on Duncan Road. That property that's over there north of Duncan Road, that's theirs. That's their little solar farm. You probably never go by that. It's not not in your flight path, but it's in mine. All right, any more questions on solar?
No, I'm depressed enough.
I'm sorry, Mark. I apologize for that, but
You don't need to,
it is what it is, right?
I know, it's kind of not
we all
good.
contributed to it, so.
Yeah, I know. Well, like I said, at the
Made the
time,
best
you know,
judgment on that as
you
you
make a
could,
decision at
based
a
on
point in
the-
time with the data you have, and, you know, that's what you get.
It's a long-term commitment.
Yeah, so the next thing is finance roles and
Roles
committee.
and responsibilities.
Yeah.
I didn't really have anything. I didn't know whether you'd been doing this longer than I have. I didn't know whether you had some subtle changes that you
There is a
might
subtle
want.
change. I do have a subtle change, but I
Okay.
don't know. It's a thought on my part, and if you agree, fine. If you don't, that's fine too. But I wanted to, I highlighted the fourth bullet point, because we had the conversation last meeting about the purchasing policy. And so the fourth bullet point on here really, you know, addresses the purchasing policy, and it actually puts it in one of our responsibilities to look at that when projects exceed that. I just highlight that. I don't have any changes there.
Oh, okay.
I just a point of reference back to our last meeting. But on
Right.
the third bullet point from the bottom where it says to preview, financial presentations to the board for accuracy and simplicity. I kind of don't like the word simplicity because it makes it look like we're trying to dummy it down. It just sounds, I don't like the language. So I would like to recommend to the committee that we change the simplicity to presentations to the board for accuracy and ease of understanding.
Simplicity, ease of understanding.
Or the words, it's just simplicity didn't,
That sounds like you're dumbing it down too.
well, it does.
Yeah,
I'm not
that,
quite sure I understand.
I don't know whether I'd be insulted with that. So I'm reflecting for a minute.
Okay, that's fine. It was a moment of,
Simplicity
Unless
is,
you wanted to add ease of understanding for the public.
Oh,
No, okay.
no, you don't want to insult the public either.
Right, that's true.
well,
nobody said anything about it so far. So, like,
Or for accuracy, and how about something like related to flow or,
well,
Do you want to just say accuracy period and leave it at that?
'cause you don't have to state.
Accuracy and presentability. No?
well, that's not too bad, actually.
okay, I'll go with that.
Presentability,
That's fine.
because then we can decide whether it's dumbed down or not.
Well, but
And for whatever that means. I mean, that can mean a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
But all the things we're talking about are really things that we definitely do, and we have done since the beginning of the committee of the district, is that sometimes the financial topics are complicated. And it's our job, I think, to make it, you know, put it to the board in such a way that they don't have to have a degree in accounting, you know.
Yeah, that's where the presentability or some type of
Yeah, yeah.
word like that would
Yeah.
work.
If you want to put in that presentability,
How about a
that's,
question mark next to it, because maybe Kim has a better.
yeah,
There
if
may
you
be a
want to,
better
if you want to
word.
play around with that word, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
That was my only comment
Yeah,
on that,
that's fine.
and even that one got me in trouble. You can't win for losing on this one.
No, otherwise, I think they're all pretty reasonable and,
Yeah. I think they say what we do.
yeah.
Now, the only thing, can we agree on the first bullet point where it says, represent the board in an advisory, I don't know if I like that first word, but represent the board in an advisory capacity and report to the board quarterly. I don't know, as I read it now, that seems awkward. Represent the board in an advisory capacity and report to the board quarterly.
Well, the committee the committees are supposed to advise the board.
I understand. You want to say something?
See, I kind of looked at it the other way around, that you were advising staff as a representative of the board.
Oh, okay, to staff, okay.
That's how I looked at it, but maybe that's not the intent.
The advisory to staff sounds like they're giving direction to staff.
Well, in the committee levels, they kind of do before it rises to the level of decision-making by the board, right?
We do, that's the whole idea of the committees, is to assist staff in moving in directions that the committee feels would be acceptable to the board.
Right. But that's not what this sentence says. Maybe we should change the first part of that. So we work, maybe we should say, we work with staff in an advisory capacity and report quarterly to the board.
I didn't write this, so I don't know the intent, the original
Yeah,
intent.
and I don't remember either. It's been
Well,
so long.
I probably did, and I don't remember either, so it doesn't really
And that's
matter.
fine with me, that's basically the way
Well,
it's
so
supposed to be set
so what do
up.
we
Were
do?
you speaking how you're reacting to the board, or how you're reacting as a committee member to this?
Well, the
In the
specific
committee.
task of this committee is to, as I think about words now, wordsmithing it, the committee's job is to work with the staff in an advisory capacity. We are not directing staff.
Right.
We are advising staff.
Advising.
So I think work with the staff in an advisory capacity, comma, and report to the board quarterly.
Well, but you're representing the board in an advisory capacity. So you represent
Representing the board to staff
Yeah.
in an
So you
advisory,
could add two staff.
to staff in an advisory position.
Okay,
But representing the board in the committee, I mean, that's what you're
That's right.
doing. You're
That's right.
representing the board in the committee.
represent the board
In the
to the
committee.
staff in an advisory capacity.
Well, in the committee, you're acting as a board member in an advisory capacity,
Right.
because you can't give,
But this, I kind of like what you said, Mr. Bart said, we represent the board to the staff in an
And-
advisory capacity. No,
well,
not ringing any bells?
Personally, I think it describes what you're doing right now. What is
what it
there.
says right
You
now,
could
I do
add- You
too.
could add to the staff, but it's not
Oh,
going to
okay.
change anything. It's just, that's exactly the same thing.
Okay.
worded differently.
Okay,
Yeah,
I can
agree
can
then.
live with that.
It's
so
fine.
the-
It's good the way it is.
That's fine.
We represent the board in an advisory capacity to staff,
Okay.
basically.
At the
for-
committee.
Okay.
At the committees.
Okay, so I'm
Levels.
I'm getting caught
Because,
on my words.
because you're trying to get the pyramid smaller up at the
No,
board
no,
level,
no, I get it.
see,
And then you
Okay.
report back to the board on,
So,
on actual fiscal results.
so the report that we give to the board is the quarterly report that we give from our minutes, right? So our minutes are that report?
I would say so.
Okay, and that's fine, okay. I'm
So in other committees, it's a little different, because because board members are, for instance, like Park and Rec or Waste, we're talking with staff about things that are happening. And this is a little more limited in this committee to the financials and auditing and things like that, so there's.
'Cause it's kinda after
there's-
the fact.
There's not a variety of things that are coming up all the time. It's,
No, but we do
But when you
have,
review the audit and when you review
have
the
the budget.
budget and
Yes.
those kinds of.
we have
Yeah,
at least
well,
a couple times a year.
there
we
are,
have-
there are several things, but,
Okay.
but some of the other committees, they're constantly in flux, you know.
Okay.
And there's a lot more things.
Well, that was easy.
And I think too, when you do the reports to the board, when you know, the committee members, you have your reports to the board after you meet anyway, and that would be
The committee reports.
anything, yeah, that you might want to expand on that happened in the meeting that wasn't necessarily implicit in the meeting, in the minutes.
So there's a written report, and each member board member has a chance to talk about something that they might think the board
Right.
needs to know.
Yeah,
And if the rest
elaborate
of the
on, yeah.
board have questions.
Elaborate on it, yeah,
Yeah,
And if the board has questions, they can ask.
right.
Okay, that's fine. All right, moving on to the next agenda item is discussion regarding the 22-23 budget. Anything you wish to report?
no, that's kind of a placeholder right now. That'll be on the agendas and through the budget process in case something comes up that we need to discuss. But we have the schedule here and we haven't, you know, we made a couple minor changes to some meeting times, but other than that, I think we're
Okay,
moving forward accordingly. And I know the committees have been working very hard on, got the Parks 10-year plan already, and I'll be getting the engineering one, I know,
so
Thursday, I think.
yeah.
we didn't have the budget, the finance committee doesn't have anything on the CIP. So we don't, that doesn't come to us. And I
And
guess until the
everything,
end, I guess.
yeah, everything we do is kind of after the fact, almost, in a review capacity.
Yeah, that's why I'm suggesting it's a little bit, finance committee,
Yeah.
a little bit different than.
Sure.
Than the committees that have
Sure,
parks and things like that, where there's always stuff going on.
got it. Okay. Committee comments. Mr. Roberts.
Financials look good, and I'm very pleased.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you're pleased, and as am I.
And that's it.
I don't know if you saw, if Kim put it in the board package yet or not, but we did get the GFOA budget award for our
Oh, she was
last-
in last month.
That was in
week's-
last
Last
packet.
board
Last
meeting, I
week's
think,
meeting,
yeah.
yeah. Congratulations.
So
Once
it was
again,
nice, yeah.
somebody, I think you and I were doing side talking, and we said, it's almost on autopilot now. You've got it all, I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's difficult, but
No, we made the comment, yeah, it's every year.
but I mean, it's a high standard, and I think that you've got the process down, and not that it's routine by any stretch of the imagination, but you know what's required, and everybody,
And they
and this
made-
guy over here helps a little bit, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
no pressure for him.
No, not at all,
Yeah,
David.
I'm training David on the budget process right now, so.
Good, good. I didn't have any,
And then.
oh,
also-
I do have a
Part of
comment.
that training is also, you know, we do the budget, but we have to make sure that the budget meets the criteria of GFOA and CSMFO, because they have, every year, they make little changes
little changes.
as to what they expect to see in the budget, you know?
Right,
Just to keep you on your toes.
They do that, yeah. Make sure we don't get on autopilot.
That's right.
yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said that way. I did make a comment at the last board meeting, I believe. I would like to see us apply for and hopefully receive the District of Distinction from CSDA.
Yes, we have one board member who needs to attend some classes.
Who's
she's
that?
Scheduled,
Rebecca?
yes.
Oh, I thought she had all the classes.
No, she needs the leader, I believe, the Leadership Academy.
Oh. How do we
And
let,
that's coming up in the spring,
Yeah,
isn't it?
she's scheduled with that, I believe it's April.
okay, well, that would be great. I thought she'd already completed it, that's why I didn't remember. I thought we had tried to get her in there, but okay, that'll be great. If we could work on that, that would be super. Did we have any action items?
Just the K2A one, which we addressed.
We already addressed that, so, okay. So, setting the agenda, for the next meeting, you want to just leave everything on there the way it is?
Probably not the roles and responsibilities, right? don't
We
need-
could take that out, sure.
And then,
Our next meeting's
We'll
in,
still have the budget.
it will still be in budget, because that next meeting will be, what, April then?
yes.
So I'll leave that on there, so that'll be fine. Okay. Anything else?
I think that's
Don?
good.
Nope, I have nothing else.
How did we do, David? We do okay? Okay. All right, there being no further business before the committee, we stand adjourned.